In some of his strongest comments yet, President Trump says he's considering his options to serve a third term in office, a breach of the Constitution's two-term limit for presidents.
I'm sorry, considering the option? What, are you trying to order off menu from the Constitution? Oh, yeah, I see you got, what do you got, 2 terms here. But can I get it animal style? What are you going to do, a third term? How does that work exactly?
In a phone call with NBC, Trump saying, quote, there are methods which you could do it, including possibly urging his vice president, J.D. Vance, to run and then cede power back to Trump. The president saying that's one method, but that there are others, too.
Yes. There are other methods. You tried one a few years ago. There are other methods for staying in power beyond when you are legally allowed to be there. Historically, some of them involve catapults. Is there any corner, no matter how small, of our current government that is safe from Musk's chainsaw of efficiency?
President Trump telling NBC News he has no plans to fire anyone following that controversial Signal group chat.
Yes! Veterans Affairs, Department of Education, USAID, you, you. Because all is right at the Department of Accidentally Texting War Stuff to Reporters. But fear not, regular civil service government parasites. Perhaps this incident offers an opportunity for you all to get the kind of job security that clearly doesn't come from the quality of your work, but the assiness of your kisses. So, for instance, this Friday, when you, as a civil servant, have to send in your mandatory email to Doge listing the 5 things you did that week, you can keep your job by following the same strategies that these careless Snapchatters employed to keep their jobs. Number 1, don't write down, what did I do this week? You know, I took my federal car and went to Hooters and cried there for 7 hours. No.
New fallout after President Trump did not rule out the possibility of a third term.
A move that would require breaching the 2-term limit outlined in the Constitution.
Caroline, what method would the president use to potentially run for a third term?
Look, you guys continue to ask the president this question about a third term, and then he answers honestly and candidly with a smile, and then everybody here melts down about his answer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Obviously, this is the media's fault, okay? If they ask the president a question, of course he's going to give you a deranged answer. He's the president. What do you expect him to say? No, I'm constitutionally barred from running again. Come on. But this week, we found out that instead of sending these suspects to a trial or a hearing, you know, all the due process in the Constitution, the ICE agents just fill out a checklist on the suspect. And if the suspect scores an 8 or more, they get deported to an El Salvadorian prison. Look, I'm not a legal expert, but I'd rather not be sentenced to life in a foreign prison with the same checklist system that Cosmo uses to decide if I'm good girl hot or bad girl hot. By the way, I'm bad girl hot. And reading through the checklist doesn't make me feel any better either, okay? You get points just for having a tattoo of a star or a clock or the Michael Jordan logo. It doesn't even have to be a tattoo. You can just get points for wearing a Bulls jersey. So have fun in prison, Hannah Montana. If that's even your real name.
A big day for the country. President Trump calling it Liberation Day.
Liberation Day.
Liberation Day. The world is watching.
Right, Liberation Day. That sounds like the fake holiday your friends make up after you get dumped, you know? No, man, who needs that beautiful, smart, independently wealthy woman in your life when you could die alone? This is your Liberation Day, bro. But actually, what is it?
Our breaking news just moments ago. President Trump officially announcing widespread, what he calls reciprocal tariffs, at least 10% on practically all goods coming into the United States.
My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed.
Okay, so Liberation Day is just the day that Trump announced new tariffs. But recently, one mysterious word has been stuck in Trump's brain.
Groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries. I started using the groceries.
Yeah, groceries. I mean, who uses that word except everybody all the time? Donald Trump found the word fascinating. And this was not just a fleeting thought. His brain has been contemplating the word groceries for a while now.
You know, more people tell me about groceries. The word grocery, I've heard it more in the last year than any other word, I think. Everyone tells me about the word groceries. You know, you hear the word groceries, you say, really? But I get more complaints about groceries. Beautiful but simple word, groceries. Sir, my groceries. The cost of groceries, a word that I used a lot on the campaign. It's like an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word, very descriptive word. They say my groceries are so much more. I have it, you know, the term is just like an old term. Groceries, a term I used to use. It's sort of an old-fashioned term, but I used to use it.
This raises more questions because groceries is not an old-fashioned word. It's a word we use right now to describe groceries. There's actually no other word for it. Yesterday, Donald Trump announced sweeping tariffs across the entire globe. Asia, South America, Narnia, Arendelle, Wakanda, Bachelor Nation. If you can imagine it, Trump slapped a tariff on it. And today, the reviews came in.
Carnage on Wall Street.
Markets falling, tumbling.
Stocks plunging.
Down, down, down. The Nasdaq's getting crushed. Small caps are getting crushed. This is a shock to the system.
It is ugly out there. Worse than worst case scenario.
Stocks are getting slashed and burned. $2.5 trillion vaporized.
$2.5 trillion vaporized. Your kid's college fund disintegrated. Your 401k given the death penalty. Your pension waterboarded in Guantanamo. Those stocks your Nana gave you 20 years ago accidentally stepped on a landmine while vacationing in Vietnam. Economists say we could be on the verge of a recession, so things are looking scary right now. But don't worry. The only thing the president is better at than negotiating is speaking soothing words of comfort in times of need.
We have heard from President Trump. He took to Truth Social, wrote this: "The operation is over. The patient lived and is healing. The prognosis is that the patient will be far stronger, bigger, better, and more resilient than ever before."
Boy, I feel so much better now. You know, I mean, always reassuring when the surgeon comes out screaming at the top of his lungs, "The patient is fine! Everything is going great! Does anybody have a mop?" The thing is, the patient didn't need major surgery. We just needed a teeth cleaning. Keep it clean and shiny. No one wants to wake up from heart surgery to their dental hygienist shouting, "I think he's gonna live!"